Have you ever had a dream that felt so big, so real to you, but to everyone else, it was just a joke? This is the story of Leo, a boy whose world was painted in colors no one else could see. From the moment he could hold a crayon, Leo was different. While other kids were outside playing soccer, kicking up dust and shouting, Leo was in his own quiet corner, his head bent over a piece of paper. He wasn't just doodling, he was creating worlds. He drew sprawling, magical cities that touched the clouds, and fantastical creatures with wings made of starlight. His sketchbook was his most prized possession, a secret portal to a universe only he understood. In school, his passion became a target. "Still drawing your silly little cartoons, Leo?" A classmate named Mark would sneer, snatching his sketchbook. The other kids would gather around, laughing as Mark flipped through the pages. "Look at this. He thinks he's going to be an artist. Who's going to buy this stuff?" Each laugh was a tiny crack in Leo's heart. Even his teacher, with a well-meaning but misguided sigh, once told him, "Leo, art is a wonderful hobby, but you need to focus on more practical subjects. How will you make a living?" The words stung. Doubt began to creep in, a grey fog threatening to wash out the vibrant colors of his imagination. He started hiding his sketchbook, drawing only late at night when everyone was asleep. He'd look at his drawings, the brave knights, the shimmering dragons, the endless star-filled skies, and a small voice inside him would whisper, "What if they're right? What if this is all just a waste of time?" He felt incredibly alone, as if he was speaking a language nobody could understand. One rainy afternoon, feeling lower than ever, he almost threw his entire collection of sketchbooks away. His hands trembled as he stood over the recycling bin. But then his eyes fell on a drawing of a tiny seed sprouting in the middle of a vast, barren desert. He remembered the feeling he had when he drew it, a feeling of hope, of life pushing through against all odds. He couldn't do it. He couldn't give up on that little seed. He couldn't give up on himself. That day something inside Leo shifted. The laughter and the taunts didn't stop, but they began to sound distant, like background noise. He realized their words couldn't erase the worlds he built on paper. Their disbelief couldn't dim the colors in his mind, so he kept drawing. He drew with more passion and determination than ever before. He filled sketchbook after sketchbook, not for anyone else's approval, but for himself. He studied the great masters, experimented with new techniques, and poured every ounce of his emotion, his loneliness, his hope, his quiet defiance, onto the canvas. High school came and went. Leo enrolled in art school, working odd jobs to pay his tuition. He lived in a tiny apartment, where canvases leaned against every wall. Life wasn't easy. There were times he survived on instant noodles, times he was so exhausted he'd fall asleep with a paintbrush in his hand. Rejection letters from galleries piled up. The voice of doubt still visited him on lonely nights. But every time it did, he remembered that little boy being laughed at in the schoolyard. And he'd pick up his brush and paint for that boy. He would prove that his dreams were not silly. Years passed. Leo kept creating, his style evolving into something uniquely his own. His art was a breathtaking blend of fantasy and reality, full of raw emotion and intricate detail. He started sharing his work online hesitantly at first. A few people noticed, then a few more. A small art blogger wrote a piece about his hauntingly beautiful dreamscapes. An online gallery featured one of his paintings. Slowly, like that little seed in the desert, his dream began to sprout. Then came the turning point. A renowned art critic stumbled upon his online portfolio. She was captivated. She wrote a feature article calling him a once-in-a-generation voice, a cartographer of the soul. The article went viral. Suddenly, the art world was buzzing with one name: Leo. Phones started ringing. Emails flooded his inbox. Galleries that had once sent him rejection letters were now begging to exhibit his work. His first solo show sold out on opening night. Soon, his art was hanging in prestigious galleries in Paris, New York, and UK. His paintings, once dismissed as silly cartoons, were now celebrated masterpieces, selling for sums he could never have imagined. People would stand before his canvases, mesmerized, seeing the same magic he had seen as a boy. One evening, at a gallery opening in his hometown, a familiar face approached him. It was Mark, his old schoolyard tormentor. He looked older, his confidence replaced by a nervous awkwardness. "Leo? I can't believe it. This is all you," he stammered, gesturing around the packed gallery. "I saw your name in the paper. I always knew you were talented." Leo looked at him, and he didn't feel anger or resentment. He just felt a quiet sense of peace. He remembered the sting of the taunts, the loneliness, the crushing self-doubt. But he also remembered the defiant joy of creating, the unwavering belief in that small, hopeful seed. He had held on to his dream when no one else would, and now the world was finally seeing the colors he saw all along. Leo's story isn't just about becoming a famous artist. It is a powerful reminder that the most important belief you will ever have is the belief you have in yourself. People may not understand your journey. They may mock your passion, but your dream is yours alone to protect and to nurture. Don't let the noise of the world drown out the music of your own soul. Keep drawing your cartoons, writing your songs, building your vision, even if you're the only one who can see it, because one day the world might just catch up. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that inspires. We'd love to have you as part of our community. Until next time, keep believing.